welcome to You and I podcast. I am Amanda.
And I'm Jew.
And we're still in our mini-series discussing the Love is Blind couples and basically breaking down what each of the couples struggle with in their day-to-day. So the couple, I think this is the fan favorite couple of almost everybody, is definitely Clay and AD. On the reunion episode, wow, like I'm just looking down at my notes. I'm just gonna read you the pieces, the little bullet points I wrote. I wrote that said that she was still in love with his life. I wrote that you could hear the hurt in his voice and her voice when they were talking about the situation. I jotted down that when he said he saw himself being diagnosed on camera. And the big moment when AD said that she did not want to be she did not want to be Clay's mom. So this couple had a lot going on, and Clay got a lot of backlash for telling her no, which I didn't really necessarily agree with. So you want to hit on your topics? Go ahead.
Sure, like I'll just piggyback on what she said about Clay. I do think that Clay got a lot of backlash, but what I can respect about Clay is he was very attached, like with his emotions of speaking how he felt about situations, which is rare for men, especially black men. Usually don't speak about their emotions a lot, and he was really, really vulnerable with her about his insecurities. And I was glad that he stood 10 toes down on his decision to not move forward until he was 100% prepared, because marriage is not for the faint of heart. Like, you have to really be 100% in, 10 toes down on it. And he felt like he wasn't ready. And he said that even after he told her at the altar no, he went back there, he consoled her, he told her why he was not ready. He told her that he was willing to go to counseling and that he was working on himself, to try to figure out some of the issues. Or he basically said she unlocked some of the issues that he felt he had emotionally and personally. So I really think that was really, really like stood out to me, that Clay knew what he wanted, but he also was very self-aware. And I feel like a lot of people are very like unaware of their personal struggles or the things that may be traps in their marriage or in their relationships later on down the road, that things that could become a problem. So I feel like he was very upfront and honest with her. And he kind of kept it a buck the whole time.
He definitely did. Like, one thing I respected about him was he let her know what it was from the gate. From the gate. So even though he told her no, and she probably was a little shocked, but I think that there's a part of AD that knows that there was a chance he would have said no. She might not be willing to come out and say that, but she cannot, in my opinion, based off of what we saw and the conversations they had, there's no way in my mind that she would have thought that he would have been 100% all the way in. Because he was definitely very vulnerable with her from the very beginning. He told her about the fears of marriage. He told her about, his father's infidelity at a young age and how that affected him. So to me, I feel like, why are we giving this man such a hard time? And I think what the problem is that so many people wanted him to say yes, but was he ready? No. And the thing is, we get into relationships all the time knowing we're not whole. We know we're not ready, but yet we do it anyway, and then we end up causing all this trauma in the next relationship we're in, a headache. We waste the person's time. We waste our time instead of healing what we need to heal before we actually make that leap. Now, granted, I don't think that he saw the depth of his trauma until this experience. Because the comment he made about, like, I was a fly on the wall watching myself. And then he said something like, it was like I was being diagnosed on camera. That was powerful, because you could literally see, I made a TikTok about the conversation he had, or his mom had, with the dad after the wedding, and how you could literally, once you got to see his dad and their dynamic, it was like, oh yeah, generational curses. Like, you could see like how his dad, because he kept saying my dad's a slick talker, and my dad's probably, you remember that scene where he told AD, like, he probably gonna try to get at you. And when you met his dad, you were like, okay. So now you could see, like, just by meeting his dad on camera, I think it was like a little small glimpse of some of the things that maybe he went through as a child. But I can't imagine, like, if you're bold enough to take your kid with you to go cheat on your wife and then bring your kid back home to their mama and sit in her face like nothing just happened, that's wild. That's mad disrespectful, and that's wild. And no wonder he has such a hard time, you know, like, with the thought or idea of marriage.
Right.
So, definitely.
Yeah, now from AD's standpoint, I do understand why she was upset.
Yeah.
Because me and my wife talk about Love is Blind all the time. We've seen all of the series. And we talk about, like, going up to the altar and then somebody telling you no. We personally feel like you shouldn't wait till you get to the altar to tell that person no. And I think in this season they did a good job of a lot of the couples cut it short before they even got to the altar, which I think is the more honorable way to do it. Sometimes you don't know, because I really feel like Clay was going back and forth on whether he wanted to say yes or no. So I think his was legitimate. Like, he told her after the marriage or after the wedding that he wasn't sure. He still was going back and forth in his head. But I do feel for AD and understand where she was coming from, because I know that certain parts are edited out. So, you know, there is that woman's intuition or the spirit where they might feel like maybe he showed her some red flags that we weren't able to see during the series. So I do want to give AD that grace as well, to understand the hurt that she felt. And I feel like AD also has some personal issues because her father, I believe he said she passed away.
When
she was, you know, women definitely need to be affirmed by their fathers and things of that nature. And I don't know the depths of her father and her relationship and how much was he in her life. So she mentioned something like, why am I always hurt, or something she said, or let down.
Why am I always,
or not good enough,
like, giving so much and I'm not ever getting it back.
Now,
one of the things I do want to hit on, because we always, when it comes to their dynamic, it's always a focus more on Clay and not AD.
Right.
One of the things I do want to hit on with AD is that as women, we can't go into a relationship when a guy tells you what it is, believe him. He's telling you. I think so many men are like Clay, where they tell you, like, I'm not really here for a serious relationship, or I'm just looking for this, or and it's not what you're looking for, but you think in your mind, if I show him this, if I do this, if I show him what a good wife is like, if I cook for him, if I'm doing all these things a wife would do, there's not going to be no way that he's going to cheat on me, or that he's going to leave me, or he's going to say no to me at the altar. But I think we really, as women, we have to stop doing that. Like, if a man tells you legitimately, like, I don't know if I can be the man for you, well, until you find out, let me know, because I'm not even going to go down this rabbit hole with you while you're on your journey of self-discovery. And in all honesty, I know that he was like, kept saying, like, she uplifted me, she built me up, but it wasn't good enough. Why? Because it's nothing that a woman can do to make a man ready.
No, it's not.
It's nothing that we can do to make him ready. He's either ready or he's not. And it's not going to be nothing by your own two hands that you're going to be able to do to get him where you want him to be. So I think we are such nurturers that we try to fix and, like, nurture to the point where, like, we're babying men. And I feel like that's kind of what she was doing with Clay. Even that scene, now that I'm talking about it, this scene where he laid up on her, like, yeah, I'm a baby, or something, like, come on, she was patting him down. I'm like, baby boy. I mean, like, we all seen the movie, most of us have. But Jody was not ready for Yvette. He was not ready for the woman, that type of woman, you know? And sometimes it ain't till you lose that person that you see, like, dang, this is what I lost. But not just that, let me get ready.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail on the head. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Or if they tell you what they're looking for, believe them. But I feel like in AD's situation, she just wanted it so bad. But as you mentioned, you can never, like, get that person to that point. That person has to be ready. They have to make up in their own mind, like, that they're ready. And I definitely think she should have heeded the warnings that he had. And I think that they were very compatible. I think that they should try to date outside of the show. And I don't know if they tried.
Forget what everybody else say. I still think they're a really good couple.
I think that they was a really good couple. I think they should give it another try. And I definitely think that she should give him time. Like, him wanting to better himself is really good, because there's a lot of people that I run into that don't want to better themselves or to get counseling, even though they know things are wrong. So I think that was very powerful. Like I said, that he was, attached emotionally, because most men don't speak out. Like, they know some of the issues, or they may not know the issues, but most men, especially black men, we're told not to tell our weaknesses or show our vulnerability. And he was very vulnerable with her, and I think that was the reason why I think that he really, really wasn't playing games with her, because he kept it real the whole time. Like, he was telling her his insecurities. He was telling her multiple times, I don't want to cheat on you. So I don't know, and that was one thing that we talked about as well, as far as she should have started asking those hard questions, like, have you cheated in the past? And why was he
afraid that you're going to cheat on me? Do you think you're going to cheat on me?
And why you keep saying that? Because he kept saying that over and over
because
again.
The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? And if you keep thinking you're going to cheat on your spouse, you're going to cheat on your spouse, because you're thinking about it long enough, and you're entertaining that thought, and your thoughts turn to words, and your words turn to actions. So I think that he needs to validate himself and be able to start speaking life into his situation, because even when he said he got therapy and how he was comparing himself to Brett and Tiffany, or Brett's, that couple, the other couple from the season previous, and he was like, but that's not good. I shouldn't be comparing myself. So you could tell that the therapy he's getting is working. And he's more conscious of it, because before, he was very insecure.
Yeah, he is.
Very insecure and very taking on his parents' trauma into his situation. And that's another thing, and I think this might be our last little piece of the conversation, is your family's trauma definitely can affect you. If your parents were young parents and they had, a kid at a young age, that trauma that they had, they might actually instill that on you, where you're they're trying to control so much that, they're not letting you live your life. Where, my situation was, my parents had a toxic relationship, not healthy at all. So I had 2-parent household, but it wasn't good communication. It wasn't really a loving environment. So when I got into relationships as an adult, I thought that communicating with my partner was screaming and arguing and yelling at each other, because that's what I saw. And it wasn't until I got with this guy that he was looking at me like, why are you raising your voice? Why are you so upset? We can just have a conversation. And I was like, we can? That was news to me, because I only knew that. So I had to really break free from some of the things that were the foundation that was laid for me as a child. And as a kid, like you said, sometimes you don't even know what's wrong until you're in a situation where they're pointing it out, hey, you have a mark on your face. And you're like, I do? Where? I didn't know. And it's kind of like the whole Clay and AB situation, just kind of reiterating on, I really don't think that he knew how bad it was until he got into that situation. So that is our take on their relationship. Share, subscribe. We're going to be hitting on one more couple, which is going to be, I think it was Sarah Ann and Jeremy. Hot mess, but we'll talk about that in the next video. So y'all can expect new content on Mondays. So y'all keep looking out and hit that notification bell so you know when we upload a new video. As I said, I'm a teacher in the other video. So there might be a Monday where there's not a video ready. So just hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And comment below. Let us know what you think of this video.
Be blessed.
Peace.
Wow.